Hey friends, my name is Mike. Welcome to another episode of Improve My Music. Today I'm gonna talk about smooth bass lines. Alright, so this is the beat I created for the last video where I talked about adding harmonies to your music. Let's listen to it once again, but now I want you to focus on the bass line. So as you can see here on the bass line, it's not just straight notes each bar. What I like to do is to add these extra notes at the end of each bar to make the bass line progression flow better. It will also make a more interesting bass line than just using straight notes. You can also see here that I have used two different basses for the bass line. This first one is the main bass sound, which basically is the character of the bass. And this second one, called sub-bass, is a low sine wave tone which adds to that low, rounded, warm bottom end of the sound. So my tip is to always use an extra sub-bass track to control the low end of the mix. This means that you also have to cut the lowest frequencies on the main bass sound. Otherwise, these sounds will compete in the low frequencies and it will become extremely messy. Alright, so now I have a tip on how to create smooth bass lines. So the first step in creating a smooth bass line is using mostly long notes like this. And of course you have to start with a round and warm sound to begin with. Then if you want extra smoothness, I advise you to use legato on your bass sound. Legato means that one note slides into the next note, which creates a more smooth transition. What you have to think about though is that legato only works when there is no gap between the notes. If I zoom in a bit here, you see that we have no gap here, but we have a gap here. So this will be played in legato and this will not. This means that you can control which notes will flow into each other with legato, and this will add expression to the bass line, which in turn will make it more interesting. You can also add variation to the velocity levels to make the bass line more dynamic. I have one last little trick if you have difficulty in choosing the right notes for the bass line. And it is to record the bass notes not on the actual bass sound but on another sound like a piano or similar. What the fire would you do that for, you wonder? Well, it's because the human ear actually finds it very difficult to hear the right pitches on low frequencies. To make up for that, you can record the bass notes on, for example, a piano sound on a higher pitch than the bass sound. So if you have your chord progression ready, you can solo the track playing the chords and solo this extra piano sound and use this to create the bass line, like this. Then you just copy this event to the main bass soundtrack and transpose it down to the right octave and do the same for the sub-bass track. Of course, in the end you also have to mix the bass to your taste and to what suits the track. And my only advice here is that bass should always be panned in the center, and for the low sub-bass it should be completely in mono with no stereo width at all. That's it. I hope you were inspired by my tips on creating bass lines. You can add me on Facebook and Google+, links in the description. Now go make some smooth bass lines, and I'll see you soon, my friends.